Hello everyone, it's James from Keeping It Anime, and today we're talking chapter 115 of We Never Learn. Now, we follow on from last week's chapter, where in fact Rizu stated she did not like herself. So, continuing on, we start off with the long-awaited backstory on how Rizu and Fumino became friends. And as far as flashbacks go within manga, this was a pretty solid backstory. We get to see just how the two of the girls first interacted with each other. It starts off a bit shaky, but thanks to Fumino's determination and her desire to help out at the udon shop or restaurant, we see that Rizu starts to admire Furuhashi. And this is where the desire from Rizu comes from, that she herself wants to be like Furuhashi. She wants to be able to understand people and to be able to pick up on things. Because in this flashback, we see Furuhashi tell Rizu that basically this couple over there, there's this, and this, with that couple, so they might need adjusting the menu to help benefit in order to get that sort of couple to have a good time. Where Rizu can't pick up on these type of things and can't understand that from someone else's point of view. And we also see the fact that her grandmother makes all these games. This is not new information to us, but what we are shown is that her grandmother states that it goes as follows. You wish to play a game with me, Rizu? You're no match for Gran. And it's seen as kind of being a bit full of herself, as a bit of a jerk. But I don't see it as that. I see it as being a bit kind of... It's an elderly kind of role model trying to push someone to be a better version of themselves. Because, let's be honest, the chapter kind of makes it across that Rizu's grandmother doesn't like her. But if her grandmother didn't like her, she would never have made these board games for her. She's trying to teach her granddaughter Rizu a lesson. And Rizu just wants to understand where her grandmother was coming from and why she said what she was saying. But anyway, back to the admiration part for Furuhashi. So this is why and where the idea of Rizu not liking herself stems from. Because she knows deep down that it's impossible for her to be like Furuhashi, and she's accepted that. But is that all? I don't think so. In this chapter, Rizu acknowledges the fact that she's starting to see improvement in herself when trying to understand emotions and feelings, whether it's from herself or from someone else's point of view. And this is said to be another reason as to why she feels the way that she does. Not being too happy with the person that she is. Because when you start to learn and understand about other people, you tend to start noticing your own feelings more. And the ugly feelings and qualities that Rizu says in this chapter, that she's starting to notice in herself, that she's disliking even more. Well, like I said, she's starting to understand and showing to us as viewers and readers that she is doing that. But upon self-reflection, what she's feeling herself might just be jealousy. Because we know that she admires and respects Furuhashi. She probably does the same with Tokamoto and probably Yuiga himself. And in this chapter it's evident to the fact that yes, she has started to realise stuff. She started to pick up on other people because she observes Furuhashi and Yuiga together and thinks that they must have a lot of trust in each other and that they look happy together. And something again that Rizu might feel like she lacks, especially with Yuiga. And we know that she has this kind of feelings for him because we've seen in past chapters that she has traits of kind of being thrown off balance when someone tries to make a move on him. Or when someone tries to get him and her together alone, she kind of freezes up a bit. So we know there's that kind of feeling between them, but she probably does feel in herself that she lacks the trust and happiness that she sees between the other characters and Yuiga when comparing herself to him. And it's evident to the fact that, you know, while she's doing this and observing everybody else in this chapter, she tries to put herself in the middle and insert herself in between Furuhashi and Yuiga to basically stop what's going on. And then we get that panel where she's crying to herself, saying that she's noticing more ugly traits and qualities about herself. And then, to top it all off, she doesn't attend the study sessions. So we're seeing a progression and evolution from the character of Rizu in this chapter. And overall, this was not a comedic chapter. There was hardly any comedy in it. And there was a little bit. Like, for example, in the flashback, we see Furuhashi kind of pull down the skirts of Rizu and Miss Kirisu. And then we have Miss Kirisu just shouting and telling off Furuhashi, telling her to be careful. And Rizu's in the background, like, sort your skirt out first. Little tiny bits of comedy like that. But we didn't need comedy in this chapter. And we got just the right amount, in my personal opinion. This chapter was a very good chapter, as I've stated, because it shows how much Rizu has developed / learned over the series. And yet, with all these new emotions that she's learning and seeing, it's still getting jumbled up inside of her head and she's still getting confused. And the other thing that this chapter really does help when showing us all of this is that it still proves to us as viewers and readers that she has a lot to learn and a lot of way to go. Again, with the actions that she took in this chapter. It can only be a good step forward for Rizu as a character when evolving and developing. Something that I personally have said that this character is needed in previous reviews. The art style was great. I loved the designs for Fumino and Rizu's first years attending school. Great designs. And when it was showing emotion in this chapter and the facial expressions to kind of show us, you know, what each character was kind of doing, thinking or saying without actually having to write it down, everything in detail was implemented greatly into the art. Overall, guys, if you haven't read this chapter yet, I would highly recommend if you do go and read it. You might get a new perspective for the character of Rizu Ogata, and you know what? For me personally, it's actually making me like the character a lot more. Because like I've said, this character needs some development, and she's getting some major big development and a big push. Still not as good as all the other girls in the group, but, you know, she's improving, and this mini arc or arc involving Rizu can only make her character a lot more substantial and a lot more dimensional, 3D dimensional. Yeah, anyway, go read it if you haven't. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, if you've enjoyed the series thus far. So overall, guys, that's going to do it for this review. Again, quite a deep, heavy kind of chapter. Something that this series isn't known for. It's known for its light-hearted comedy and laughs. But it was done correctly in the terms of getting across what this character has learnt, what she's showing, and how she's feeling. A perfect chapter when doing these type of things. So, if you've enjoyed the review, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me, and until next time, I hope you all have an amazing day, and well, keep it anime. Catch you later. Goodbye.